in many countries, I've come across the fact that some people are like to greet a ruler, like a king or president, or even sometimes a sheikh, kissing the hand and bowing like doing a ruku'. And I wanted to know, is it something legit in Islam? Can we do this
Okay.
or not? And to know if there is any basis in Islam in doing such an act.
Okay, so if we're looking for precedent in the Sunnah, then there is precedent for kissing the hands in the Sunnah, because people kiss the hands of the Prophet ﷺ. But that's if we are looking to see, if we are asking the question, is this a Sunnah of some kind? And according to, I read a specific paper on this, and the ulama do not see this as a matter of Sunnah, but more a matter of custom.
Cultural tradition?
Yes, more a matter of custom and cultural tradition. And therefore, the question of permissibility or impermissibility would depend on whether it was something that was just customary where they are. Provided that the practice, what they are engaged in, is not something that is exclusive to worship. So in the case of kissing the hands, we know that kissing the hand is not something that is exclusive to worship, and therefore that would be permissible to do, right? It would be just mubah. It's like, if it's customary, it can be done, right? I mean, on that, I suppose the only caveat I would add is just people, ulama, scholars, as well as public, should be a little bit wary of what the Prophet ﷺ said about himself. He said, "La tutruni kama atratin nasara Isa ibn Maryam." Don't go to excesses with your expression of love towards me, the way the Christians went to excess with regards to Isa alayhi salam. And to me, that seems like a really useful lesson to kind of temper how we treat our mashayikh and our respected people, and not to kind of idolize them to a level that it becomes impossible for their egos not to be negatively affected. And at the same time, ulama should resist the idolization as much as they can.
Unfortunately, we live in a culture now, this is a celebrity culture.
No, it's bad. So I'll be straight up, it's bad, right? It's no good. Don't tell me that it's hard enough, right? People calling you Sheikh and Maulana and etc., etc. The ulama are human beings, and they are just as at risk of the wasawis of the shaitan and the pitfalls of the nafs. And then on top of that, you have people lavishing praise and etc., etc. It's hard enough. On top of that, there's people kissing your hands and so on. Honestly, it's dangerous for the mashayikh. I'm saying this for the ulama and for the mashayikh and for the tullab al-ilm, that you should push people away and say, look, akhi, let's just shake hands, let's not go that far. Because it's dangerous for you. It's dangerous for you.
You are saying it can lead to certain other things.
Now, ordinary people, you should show respect, right? You should, of course, show respect. And we should respect our ulama and respect the mashayikh. But let's respect them in more universal ways, right? Use good words and kind words, and yes, call them by a title, not a problem. And don't do the whole, if kissing hands and things like that are not part, it's not part of your custom, right? Don't do it.
Fine.
Why take it on as an additional thing? Like sometimes when I hope I'm not remiss in this, and nobody ever minded me not doing this, right? I often see, I go and I've met some of the greatest mashayikh in the world, right? Alhamdulillah, I've been blessed. And I've seen people kiss their hands, etc. And sometimes they show reluctance, sometimes they don't. And I've just avoided it because it's not customary to me. Why would I do it? Why would I do it now? It's not customary to me. It's not sunnah, and it's not part of my custom. Yes, it might be part of their custom, but as far as I'm concerned, it's better off for me not to do it.
Okay.
Do you understand? I'm doing them a favor. So that's one thing. The other thing is ruku'. Now, I don't know of any culture where people do ruku'.
You mean, bit of bowing down?
Yes, bowing. So a bit of bowing, I would say, if it's just a little bow, like in some cultures in the Far East and places like that, it's a normal custom for them to bow a little bit. That slight bow is not a ruku', and therefore I wouldn't say that it belongs in the category of something that is exclusive to worship. A full ruku', the way it's done in salah, a full sujood, the way it's done in salah, would be haram.
Okay.
Right, because that is something that is exclusive to ritual worship.
Fair enough. And I have to be clear on the other side. If some custom allows it to do it, and if we are alien to that, then how should our opinion be formed?
Well, it really depends on your situation. First and foremost is the principle. The principle is that if it is something that is just a matter of custom and culture, First is it's permissible, right? And then the other points that I mentioned about ulama should kind of just ease off, and people should also be mindful and show more universal forms of respect. That's a caveat. That's a safeguard.
Okay.
I'm mentioning that as a safeguard because there is danger associated to these things.